But then I was running away from a black bear, and can we pull that footage up, Jamie? Can we pull that up?
A
Oh,
black
hey,
bear?
Chris.
I swear that's a brown bear.
One of the bears, you just have to like shoo them, don't you? And they just go away. Am I
Well, I
right?
was no. So I actually was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast about this guy, and they were talking about bears and Joe Rogan hunting bears, and he was saying, I can't remember which way round it was, but most people mistake like a brown bear or a black bear. A black bear is theoretically a brown bear, and a number of bears are all brown bears, but not all of them are grizzly bears or some like that. But I wouldn't shoo them away, and I wouldn't
I
run
w-
either. I don't really know what I would do.
yeah, please subscribe to the Sam Beast Consulting YouTube channel for more bear chat, because we're not sure whether it's a grizzly, a black bear, a brown bear. Who knows? All we know, Chris, is that polar bears are like vicious things, right? They
Yeah, they're
will rip
nasty.
you open. Speaking of vicious, nope, that's not a great selling point, is it? Vicious things. Speaking of useful information, Chris, why are you here today? What are we talking about?
I'm here today to talk about the wonderful ITAM maturity assessment we've built together with the David Foxen that we have obviously here, Kylie Fowler and Rory Canavan to actually start assessing your IT asset management maturity, benchmarked against industry best practice and the ISO certification as well. So the intention is to try and make information gathering easy. So you can collaborate with your teams internally to gather information, and then reports and insights are automatically generated once you've completed the assessment, and you get effectively a gap analysis of where you can improve your processes, policies, and procedures. There's a lot more
Wow,
meat to the bones,
Chris,
but
sounds great. This sounds. This is completely new information. It's not been in development for over a year. This sounds good.
no.
No, definitely not. Awesome, mate. So I think you've got a demo up there. So yeah, can we just have a sneak peek of what this looks like? You know, try and get the wonderful audience to see the benefits of this. We can go through looking at the platform and then looking at it, why it's beneficial for you as an IT asset management professional. Because like Chris said, this covers a whole range of ITAM stuff. So typically clients normally just want either a ham, SAM, or general ITAM kind of maturity assessment, but they like to hand pick it, and you know it takes us time, all of that kind of stuff. Whereas this is a platform that can basically, it gives you the keys to the kingdom. Ultimately, you can do your own maturity assessments. You can benchmark it against industry best practice, world class ITAM. Kylie, myself, Rory, and the licenseware team have been going through this for over a year, like tweaking it. The amount of times we've changed questions, answers, feedback, it is the dogs, you know what, I nearly swore then. It is it is really, really good. And this is something that, you know, even myself, when people ask for maturity assessments, I'm pointing them here. And of course, if they want extra services after that, they can contact licenseware, myself, Rory, or Kylie. But this is a great way for you to regularly be benchmarking your ITAM maturity. Do it every year if you want to see your progress. And yeah, it looks good. Look at it. Just, I mean, look at it. Go on, Chris. Go on. Take us on a test drive. Take us
Take
on a
on a
test
test
drive.
drive. So there's a lot of questions here, but luckily that you have the features and functions to not have to do it all yourself. So a total of 118 questions. You don't need to answer them all for the reports to start generating either, but we do recommend you obviously complete everything that's in here. It's broken down into IT asset management, hardware asset management, and software asset management. You can obviously go ahead, answer the questions, and go through it one by one. If you don't know the particular answer, or this isn't your respective responsibility, you can invite people to answer that specific question for you. But if you want the team to collaborate on the entire questionnaire, you can invite people to have access to the entire thing as well. So if certain people looking after certain things, you can effectively divvy out the workload and make the progress. So I'll just go through some of these. I don't know if you want me to focus on any of the questions, David, to go through the sort
They're
of
all
things that we're
amazing
asking.
questions, Chris, so you can focus on whichever ones you want. The
I'll go
hardware
to the
asset
hard
management
ones.
ones in particular.
Yeah, just quickly go there.
The hardware asset management ones in particular are, you know, wonderful.
Yes, they are some of my favourite ones in here. So the hardware onboarding process validates new models and asset types and their sustainability for your environment. This process is
Very
owned by
important.
enterprise architecture, although it may be delegated to technical teams. Is your hardware onboarding process not practiced or documented, practiced but not documented, documented but not practiced, practiced and documented, practiced, documented and regularly measured against KPIs, practiced, documented, measured and optimized to align to organizational requirements. So lots of options to choose from. We're going to pick that one. Based on the answers that you then give, so when I selected this one, an additional question actually became available, which will ask for some specifics in terms of your hardware onboarding process. And then what you do is select ones that are applicable. And the report that's generated isn't done based on you scored 9 out of 10, you should improve, or you've done very well. What's actually happening in the background is that we have a large language model which can comprehend the importance of questions and answers. So rather than just a bog standard report coming up the other end, there's an actual narrative which looks into where your problems are and actually explains it in layman's terms to a certain extent, generating an executive report. So it's a much more condensed report for the senior management to be able to understand the importance of what's going on here. But there's also detailed reports as well. So for those who are in the nitty-gritty of this, understand exactly what they're doing well and where they need to improve.
Yeah, and Chris, just to interrupt, that was something that all of us, it was really important that this wasn't just another generic automated output that's just not really representative of what organizations, ITAM estates look like, which exactly why when you answer certain questions, it invokes and triggers another set of questions so that we can dig deeper into it to give you a much more accurate ITAM maturity and a much more accurate report at the end. And again, like Chris said, it was also really important for us that we give you, the ITAM professionals, all of the devils in the detail. We get our ITAM geek on, but at the same time, give you that executive summary that you can provide to your senior management, your C-levels, etc. Because they're not going to go through a 20-odd, 30-odd page ITAM report, maturity assessment. They just want the bullet points, the high level, in English, not in ITAM language. What does this actually mean? What areas do I need to improve on? What areas am I excelling in? So yeah, that executive summary bit, we spend a lot of time making sure that it's not too short. So it's not like really, really baby feeding, but at the same time isn't too long and gives, the C-levels and senior management at least some idea and direction on where you're going wrong and where you're going right. But again, like Chris said, we don't want this to be just another generic report that you're not even really going to read, you're not really going to look at, you've done it to tick a box. We want this to actually be valuable so that you can take something away with you. Sorry, Chris, you carry on.
Well, I'm trying to fill it out quickly so we can generate the reports that we're talking about, but just bear with me. I did not prep a complete one earlier.
Quick, blur the screen so they can't take screen grabs.
I'll just stop sharing. There you go.
Oh, he hasn't.
Get done. I will actually put the share back up again.
It's really quick and easy to do, right? I mean, you're literally just going through a couple of clicks.
So it's just a couple of clicks, right? If I don't want to answer those questions and I want David to help me, I can just invite David. Just pop out in their email in. You can put context as well, specifically on what you need help with. So then they'll get an invite and then get access to the questionnaire, the assessment, I should say, to fill out what they need to do. So I'm just going to blast through this. You can see your percent completion here on the left. The reports will start generating once you've answered sufficient questions. So we can see here as an example, we've completed the ham section. So we'll start generating some insights, but then you also have a list of the questions that you need to fill out if you've missed any. And if you've only missed one, you just saw there, I can select that particular question and it'll automatically take me to the questions that I've been missing.
Nice. I mean, bear in mind, please, Chris is just randomly clicking here. So if this maturity assessment says that you're world class for one thing and terrible for another, it's just random, just to give you an idea of how easy it is and how sexy, may I say, that the licenseware platform looks for this. But Chris, with all of this awesome stuff, right, I guess this is going to be stuck behind you're going to have to contact you for pricing. It's going to be really expensive. This is a great setup question at the great value for money that this is.
No, that's not the case, David. You can actually just go on and purchase the assessment straight from the platform. It's self-service. You don't need to go through a lengthy sales process. The intention is for it to be an affordable solution which you can get in place quickly. See the value, and to your point, David, continue as part of your either yearly or biannual practices to make sure that you're staying up to date with industry best practice and managing and maintaining your process policies and procedures.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good point, because, like with some things, when you do this, there's a long process behind it. Okay, we've got to get you on board. You've got to send out questionnaires. We've got to gather it, do the report. This is all self-sufficient, right? You can just go on there, order it whenever you want, fill it out whenever you want, get the report whenever you've completed it. There's no relying on a sales guy. There's no relying on, anything from our side in terms of purchase orders, interviews, anything like that. All self-sufficient. You can run it all yourself. It's kind of like the licenseware ecosystem, right? You're very big on the app modules, being able to just add things in when you want it, all that kind of stuff. So it works really well for a maturity assessment, especially if you're going to keep doing it year on year and tracking that awesome progress that you're making. It is £1 million though.
Yeah, $1 million.
$1 million.
All right, 100%. There we go. It might
Mate, we are way
to
too excited and giddy about this.
Just let me refresh. It might take a minute because it's got to process the report still.
Yep. What are you drinking there, Chris?
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Sainsbury's own. I thought it was a Sainsbury's own filter coffee. It's like, pre-ground. Was my favourite, and then they stopped selling it, and I was really upset because I was having to buy more expensive coffee, which didn't taste as good. Turns out Sainsbury's just rearranged the aisles, and the Sainsbury's own coffee was just behind me, so I stood there buying all this coffee on this side, and what I was looking for was actually just directly behind.
So for more coffee optimization tips, please follow Chris Allen on LinkedIn. If you want to know about bears and coffee, he's your man.
What I'll do is I'll click to reports, and then it will generate the report for you. You can either access the report through the web UI, so you can go through, you can see bits that are missing, high-level executive summary, scores by strategic drivers narrative. I mean, there's tons of information here regarding your capability, your process maturity, and you get a high-level information from the UI. If you go to the top, however, you can then click download, and this will export a number of PDF reports. There'll be an all question report, there'll be a detailed report, and the executive summary. So I've just downloaded a zip. Let me just quickly unzip those.
And Chris, you mentioned what's included in this again? So it's just a ITAM, SAM, HAM, and anything else included in there?
ITAM, SAM, HAM assessments along with ISO accreditation alignment. So
there
effectively, if you're going for the ISO accreditation, what do you need to have in place to ensure that you can achieve that? What have you got missing? What do you need to improve on? So all of that's contained within here as well, which is super, super helpful.
Very helpful. Good. I'm glad you knew the answer to that one, because it's like, please, Chris, say the ISO one.
Let me share my screen. I've got some of the reports up now. Let's share.
We'll edit this bit out. Yeah. It's almost as if you've never done this. Oh, there we go.
So here we've got the executive report, so automatically generated from that download, total of 9 pages, so not too short but not too detailed. We'll give you a high-level introduction of the importance of these assessments, and then we go into key findings in terms of the strengths and weaknesses, strategic drivers, and we'll give it some indication of actually not only where you're doing, but appreciating executives might not understand what these means, but we've got all of the definitions as well at the bottom in the appendix. So if they're unsure of what this is referring to, all of the information there is available to make it nice and clear. So we've got the executive summary report. I can hop across through to the detailed report. And then we get a bit more of a chunky report generated here, coming in at 20 pages, which then delves into those different sections. So ITAM maturity, your HAM maturity, your SAM maturity, where you're attaining points, where you're missing points out, and then it will go down into the details specifically on the strategic drivers. So if you wanted to know from a business agility perspective, where you're doing well, where you need to improve in terms of the processes and procedures, you can see all of that here. You get a conclusion,
Beautiful.
just to summarize that. Employee satisfaction, information security, cost control, sustainability, all of these important topics. It will show you effectively where you're doing well and where you're missing out.
You look at that report. Come on. I mean, the one thing I will say is, unfortunately, the bar charts and the color coordination isn't in Sam Beast orange and red. I mean, that is something that, you know, come on, guys.
Yeah, we'll have
Orange and red? Oh my god, no, orange and black. Or I don't even know my own branding colours. Oh my god, orange and black.
Orange and black. Maybe
Not
one
red.
day. We'll
Maybe
take that
one
up with
day.
the marketing department.
No, please don't. Rory and Kylie would not be happy.
All right, and then lastly, the all questions report as well. So this is effectively showing, I mean, this is a long report coming in at 71 pages, but we'll talk effectively. Go on.
No, I was going to say that it is long, but that also then shows where they've answered the question, so that then next year when they redo it again, they can see the different answers each year. And yeah, that's actually, whilst when you do it the first time, it's kind of one that you don't really look at, but you park it. And then when you do it a next time, especially when we've been doing it manually with clients year on year, it's a case of, oh, here's all the questions. It's okay, yeah, I'm filing that away. But then when you come out next year, it's like, where's last year's questions? We can compare. Oh, look, you answered this one this way last year, and you've matured it up this time, so now it is actually documented and practiced, whereas before it was documented and not practiced, or practiced and not documented, so you can see the step up in the questions. So the idea of giving you all of these questions is, A, obviously from an audit perspective, to show you everything that you've answered, in case you think, oh no, I clicked the wrong button there. Well, that's not really representative, but then to give you that foundation for then, as you keep doing this year on year, to see how your questionnaires are going up and up and up on the maturity scale. But yeah, 70 odd pages. You're probably not going to use it the first time unless you think there's an answer in there wrong. But in the future, super useful, man. Super useful.
Definitely. And the intention is also for the comparison to be automated. So in licenseware, we have the reporting function which can automatically compare reports. That's going to be put into this platform as well. So you don't actually have to go through the document and check it. You can see all the differences automatically.
Even better. Chris, that's, wow, you're making it so easy for people. Chris, right, last question. And where can they find this? Is it live? Is there a link that we can provide?
It's live. Yeah, it's in production. You're going to share the link in your post, I expect, David.
Yep, I will.
You can just log into licenseware. You'll find the application under the self-assessment service. The ITAM maturity assessment is good and ready to go. If you've got any questions, you can reach out to myself, David, Kylie, Rory. We're all up to speed in terms of how it works and the value proposition. And yeah, hopefully it's something really exciting to help people improve their maturity in a way that's not been possible before.